Hey there. In this video, I thought it would be fun to go through all of the sketchbooks I kept up with in 2024. At the time of this recording, it is a new year heading into 2025, and I wanted to be more consistent in my video creation this year. So I thought, well, let's get started by going through some of the sketchbooks that I've used in 2024 and also talk about at the end what my plans are for 2025 in my sketchbook and my art practice in general. So the first thing I wanted to show you was my iPad because I have been off and on doing some creative things on the iPad. I do have ambition to create art for art licensing in the future, so I've been learning about how to use Procreate. And so let me show you the iPad. Log in. I forgot to log in. Okay, so this is my Procreate, I guess, gallery. They call it a gallery, and I'm considering this a sort of sketchbook because this so far is just me figuring out how to use Procreate. And so all of these images here are some that I've been using or have done to figure out how the brushes work, basically. So that's some of the first things I've done. So these here in the middle are all of my practice using a certain set of brushes. So for example, this one here, these were all the brushes within the drawing brushes category. So if you've ever used Procreate, I'll just open it up and show you. In the brush department here, you have lots of different categories of brushes. So I was playing with, in this one, I think it said, I don't remember what it said, sketching brushes. So I just literally used every single one of these brushes in this abstract painting here. So that is what I mean by playing with the brushes, but these were created, these ones here in the middle were all created that way. I also have a book that I purchased, and these two pieces here were essentially copies of the steps in those books. So it's not really original art, although I did make this in a similar way. I didn't abstract it enough that I could say that's my original art because I basically copied what they said to do in the book. And then these were some of my beginning when I didn't really know at all what I was doing. I wanted to use my pet images to make little stickers, and so I've been learning how to trace. And believe it or not, tracing is hard. It's hard because even though you are tracing around, the animal, it's hard to figure out which parts to color in shade. And so that's a learning process, but that's what these were about. And then actually this one, my daughter did. So she's much better at color blocking than I am. This was her one and only contribution to my sketchbook here. Speaking of family in my sketchbook, up here, let's see, my own mother just yesterday created this one. And so I have an idea about including my mom in some of my work. And this one is going to be a video. So I'm going to finish my mom's drawing. So anything my mom starts, I'm going to finish without messing with her original work here. So my iPad's not got a lot of battery left, so I'm going to try to finish up here. So now lately what I've been playing with are patterns, and these are just sketches for future pieces that I'm going to finish up, but you'll see a theme with my work. I start stuff and then I go back in later and finish it. So I rarely do anything from start to finish. Like this one here took me a long time to finish, and it started out with just black and white line drawing. So anyway, that is my what we're going to call my Procreate sketchbook. All right. The next sketchbook here, I'm going to scooch these little ones off to the side. this is my largest sketchbook, and just checking to make sure we're still in view here. And I bought this book in 2023, actually. And so the first maybe few pages here I actually did in 2023. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with the sketchbook, and so was it a journal? Is it inspiration? Is it just a true sketchbook? I don't know. And I don't care at this point anymore. And it's just whatever I feel like doing in this large size, because to me, this is large. Um, and let's see, I think some of these I did put the date. So yeah, you can see here, this was actually started in 2023, but I've been working on it a lot more in 2024. So sometimes I use my sketchbook as a swatching platform or swatching paper so that I can see what the media do. And then sometimes I'm just working through exercises and books I have. Like this was from a drawing book, and it was exercise on just creating ovals. Sometimes I just feel like making a design. And then in 2024, I started this, and I thought, well, I'm going to make it sort of a journal, but that didn't really last very long. So those are like these first few pages are more or less journal pages, and so that's what I thought I was going to start doing, but I didn't keep up with it. I didn't keep up with the journaling aspect of it. I still kept working in it, but I didn't really keep doing, like, I learned about this method of journaling and I didn't stay with it. So anyway, this is a practice I'm going to talk about later. And I'm going to skip through some of this because some of it's kind of personal. Okay, this is where I just started being a little more free, and whatever it is in the sketchbook. And so I saw these cute little blobs that you can turn into things like chickens or bunnies, or there's all kinds. You can find these on Pinterest. I think that's where I found this, but decided to make my own little watercolor blobs and turn them into these cute little chickens. And then I thought it reminded me of cute aggression, and I decided to look it up and see what the definition is. And so that's what this page ended up being. So it's also called playful aggression is superficially aggressive behavior caused by seeing something cute, such as young, human, or animal. This may cause people to grit their teeth, clench fists or jaws, or feel the urge to bite, pinch, and squeeze the cuteness. So anyway, I get cute aggression with my little dog Stella. And so I thought, what is that about? And there you go. We're working through this. Okay. I also have played with collage in this book, so that's what this is about. And then sometimes, that things are, beautiful. And sometimes I'm taking notes. Sometimes I'm just playing with new pens. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. So it's not always beautiful. It's okay. But sometimes I get some beautiful learning that I jot down, and I love this. This is I got this from a guy I follow on Instagram. His name is Jefferson Fisher. He's a lawyer, and he has some really great life advice. And so this one was a good little reel he made about how to disagree better. Some things you can say: I see things differently. I take a different approach. I tend to lean the opposite. And he says this sort of diffuses the battle a little bit. So I thought that was great. So sometimes I'll put stuff like that in there. Experimented a little bit with plants, like pressed flowers, I guess that's what you might call this. But at some point, I'm probably gonna have to pull that out. And so it was just a little practice for drawing. And then I have pages like this where I'm inspired by a thing and I'm going to draw it or do something with it, but I haven't done that yet. So I'll come back to it. And this is just a peacock feather that my daughter had collected a long time ago. And I was like, she was going to throw it away. And I thought, oh, maybe I might like to draw that. So that's sitting there. And then again, this was another little tidbit of inspo that I thought I'll save it because I like the art and I want to maybe practice something similar to what's going on in the picture. So I've taped it in here. Got a couple of those waiting for me. And here's some tapes, washi tapes that I just thought I'd put out here and see what they look like. This I ruined because I used alcohol markers on the other side and decided I don't like alcohol markers, so you won't be seeing any more of that from me. This here was a video I watched where they were doing, they were getting inspiration from architecture. And so anyway, I don't remember much more about that. This here was a practice in color value. And I was watching this is almost a copy of a lady who does acrylic. This is not acrylic. This is, these are the Caran d'Ache Neo colors. And so anyway, I'm learning color value, lights and darks between the color ranges. So that's what this is about. And this was very similar to what she was painting in acrylic. Oh, she being Julia Veenstra. She's a Canadian artist. Maybe if I can figure out how to do that, I will link that. And other things I mentioned, I'll link in the show notes. So again, you can see just some more craziness. This here is another thing that I want to do more of, where I take either I journal something and then I will scratch out everything except for some keywords to create sort of a poetic effect. But this was, I was inspired by the gold, and I have some gold mica paint that I'm going to use to play with, but I haven't done that yet either. So I get inspired and then I don't do anything. But this one I started, I liked the drawing, the painting. I thought, let me see what I can do. And so I started it. I'll finish it eventually. This is like that Van Gogh painting, the where you turn it upside down and then draw it so it turns off one side of your brain so you can draw better. But I wished I had turned my book so that my image was not upside down. Some more collage. Some more playing with color value. A lot of times what I do when I really want to just sit down and not think is I will make these neurographic lines and then put some, these are all Zentangles inside. So sometimes I will just, do that just for the fun of it, the joy of creating. Here's some more Zentangles on watercolor. So put the watercolor background and then I put a little Zentangle on top. So like this is ready for some Zentangles or something else. And then more play with color value here. This was a fun little exercise a friend of mine and I did. We did a little Zoom meeting and I put up a prompt. So it was this car in a parking lot. And so we each did a version of what we were seeing. So that was fun. I may do some more of that where I put a prompt on the screen and I'll paint or draw and you can paint along with me. So that's coming soon. Some more collage, some more fun with watercolor, and we'll come back to that later. This is something else that I'm working on. I'll tell you about later. Some more watercolor and paint pen mix. I don't know what else I'm going to do with that. Come back to it later. Again, more neurographic art. This was a stamp that I made out of rubber, or like a rubber stamp. So I carved it, and then I thought what I might do with it was use it as a color swatching thing, and I really love how that turned out. So probably not going to do that again. Here's some more ugly. Just playing with these fall colors. I just felt like playing with fall colors, so that's all that was. I just needed to relax. Sometimes you just need to relax and you just put some lines on the paper and you feel better. I promise, try it. It's not the most beautiful thing in your sketchbook, but it really is relaxing. Some more of the Neurographica and just playing around with flower shapes. That's supposed to be an iris. Not sure that it looks like an iris, but whatevs. And then these are sort of the last few pages. These were, I'm trying to be more creative when I'm swatching new colors or new paints. And so that's all this was. I'm swatching some paints I got for Christmas, and that's going to be in the next video, kind of the Christmas art haul. These are the last few little things I've done. Yep, and that's it for this one. All right, so these little ones that I keep, I like the little ones because, make sure I'm still in frame here. I like that it's just like a little bit of instant gratification, or I just need something to do really quick, and these serve that purpose. So when I first bought this little watercolor sketchbook, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I still never know what I'm going to do with my sketchbooks when I start them. Even though I say, oh, this is going to be this theme, this kind of a theme, maybe all of it is watercolor medium, maybe all of this one is, Zentangles, whatever. I never stick with it, but I shouldn't say never. I've got one where I have, but that's the case for this one for sure. So it started out sort of a swatching type thing, and then it turned into practicing layering here, which I'm not very good at yet. Just playing with color, more color. That looks icky. Yeah, lots of swatching and playing with color. And every once in a while, there's something kind of halfway decent. So maybe what I might do is on some of these, like maybe even, this one, I don't know, maybe even things like this, just painting over it and going over, making it a collage of something. Maybe it's worth mentioning these here are typically when I use loose watercolor paper, just for practice and painting, whatever. If I don't like everything that's on the page, I will cut out what I do like and turn them into these little stickers. And so that's what that's about there. And sometimes I follow some artists like Rebel Unicorn. I don't know why I can't say that. She is on Instagram and YouTube, all over the place. One of my favorites. She will do these little brief watercolor exercises, and that's what these are, these two in particular. Yeah. More play. Yeah, so I'm showing you these because to me, a sketchbook doesn't have to be, your best work, all of your most beautiful things. But sometimes they are, and that's good too. So I just like keeping these sketchbooks because, what am I trying to say? They're relaxing. Like, I am not trying to get into a museum. I'm not trying to sell art. I'm trying to sell the idea that, doing this is very relaxing. It can be life-changing if you're a perfectionist and you are struggling with, I can't make art because I can't make it look the way I want it to look. I can't make it look photorealistic. I don't know anything about mixing colors or how to, do those kinds of things. I'm here to say, to me, it doesn't matter. I'm here for the fun of it. I'm here creating and thinking. Sometimes I'm thinking through something as I'm creating. And, if it turns out great, like every once in a while, I kind of love this, then, it makes me happy. And it also does make me happy to go back through and look at my work and realize, gosh, I've been pretty busy. And I enjoy looking at my art, even if it's even the ugly stuff. So this next one is one I bought relatively recently. And so it's another watercolor book. And thought this one would have a theme, but it doesn't. This one here was that exercise. It's sort of like mapping out the color. You just put the color on the paper however you want, and then once it's dry, you take a pen and you outline the contour of the shapes. that the color has created. And so this is a very relaxing technique. Highly recommend. And then I saw this big space here and I thought, you know what? There needs to be a quote there. And so I found one. There you go. You're not stressed because you're doing too much. You're simply not doing enough of the things you love. There. That's why I keep these watercolor, all of these sketchbooks. It's because I want to do more of the things I love. And I love doing this. I look forward to it every single day. So there you go. Sometimes the book will be more succinct than I am. Here's some more. And the Christmas ones from this year playing. That's it. So I've got some more fun to be had in this book. Okay, these last books are the more drawing, less watercolor and more drawing. So I like to have some sketchbooks, in the living room or that I can take with me to work on when I have some downtime somewhere else instead of, scrolling on your phone. This is a great little hack for that. This is my one and only themed sketchbook. So this one here, my idea was one side is a quote and one side is an image or, a doodle, a drawing, a Zentangle, that kind of thing. So that's what this one is. So I'm just going to flip through it to show you kind of a little bit. They start out a lot of times as Zentangles. These are, I think this one's called Poke Root, and this one is, I forget what that one's called, but anyway, this was a neurographic design that I added some Zentangle floral. Let's see. I think these were those Kingston alcohol markers that I decided I didn't like. See, they bleed, and I don't like that. So I don't know if you want me to go slower or faster in here, but you can always pause it. If you find something that you're like, hey, that's inspiring, maybe I want to create that, you can always pause the video, but I think I'm just going to keep going. Oh, there's where I was testing out some pens. I don't really use these pens that much. My favorite pens for this are the Pentel Sparkle Pop pens. I love those pens so much because they sparkle. So this is one of them. You can kind of see it has some nice reflection. These ones I like because I can usually get them all done in one sitting, but I'm not tied to that. If I don't get it finished, I'll come back to it another time whenever I'm inspired or have the time or feel like it. So perhaps I will do some little shorts or reels or something to that effect on how I do some of these little designs because they're quite easy and, like I said, very satisfying. Oh, this one's neurographic. You can kind of see more of the lines of the neurographica. Definitely be making some more of those. And sometimes I create patterns or designs from the neurographic lines. I love making trees. Yes, I am in competition with no one. I have no desire to play the game of being better than anyone. I'm simply trying to be better than the person I was yesterday. See, this one I didn't finish. I think my green ran out of ink. All right, that's it. And so a lot of times what I do is I start collecting quotes. Occasionally, I will try to draw something that relates to the quote, but not always. And I don't want to stress myself out by saying, oh, it has to relate to what the quote is. No, I'm just, whatever I feel like doing, I do. So I'm not making that rule for myself. So I've got some more to do in this one as well. So happy 2025 here. Now, these last two are just some I finished. I'm not going to go through all of them because, to be honest, they didn't all happen in 2024. And I said I was going to show you 2024 stuff, but this was one of the ones that I kept before this blue one here that we just went through. And yeah, so it's just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different things. And we went down to the boat ramp, and there's a little place where you can sit down and watch the sunset. And so there were some ducks there. I was attempting to draw the ducks. All right, more pages there to fill as well. I think I'd started in this book in 2024 because these were the two. This one is completely full, and then I bought another one. And then I saw this format, which I don't know why the spiral is a little cumbersome to me, and so I like the fact that this opens flat. Even though I can open this and it's flat, it's fine. I don't know, those things just still kind of bother me. So I prefer this type. So going forward, I'll buy this kind of brick sketchbook by Soho. I guess that's what that is. And we'll be continuing in those that way. But that was one from that I started this year, and we'll continue working in that one until it's done. But this one was from 2023, and more of the same, just sort of random drawings in here. One final one that I'll share is this black sketchbook. I didn't really do a whole lot in this one this year. Most of this is from 23. I think I bought this in 2023. And so they're fun to do also. There's more neurographic art. Playing with pens. But the black paper is fun too. So lots of unfinished things. This was pastel, oil pastel, and the paint pen. I think that's a Posca pen. Okay, so this design here is so versatile. I love it. It's super easy to do, very relaxing. And I thought, okay, well, how many other shapes can I do this design within? And so that's what I was doing here. Can I do it in an organic shape? Can I do it in a hexagon? Because mostly I do it in triangles or squares. But yeah, kind of fun. Yeah, see, still, this was all 2023. And for some reason in 2024, I stopped putting the dates on things. So I think in 2025, I'm going to start doing it again, since I just noticed that. Anyway, so that is another one to play with this year. Now, in 2025, going forward, I have 2 new sketch pads, and I'm going to go through my Christmas art haul here in a bit. But this paper here was some I got for Christmas. My son bought me this one. And I'm thinking about turning this into a homemade watercolor book. Like I was thinking about folding the paper in half and then having this shape for a drawing sheet. So I'm thinking about it, and then it makes it even smaller, more instant gratification, which I love. And then I bought this Paul Rubens for myself for this year too, another watercolor. Or I think this is mixed media. Is this watercolor or mixed media? It's pretty heavyweight paper. I'm not sure what the GSM is or the weight. This paper, it doesn't say. Anyway, this will be for this year, and this will be for this year. And one last thing, I keep saying one last thing. I created in 2024 these little collage books for or from paper that my sister-in-law gave me. She had this beautiful collection of these papers, and I thought, what in the world can I do with them? So I cut them down. I've got two different sizes. I've got this one and this size here. And so I have lots of fun to be had in these. So this will be a mixed media collage, and those will be coming soon. But all I did was I cut these papers into the size I wanted, and then I have one of these ring hole punch. And so you buy these, I'm not going to take it apart, but they come out a lot easier than the spiral. So if I wanted to use, or take out one page, I can take it out and put it back in. So I can take it out, tape it down, whatever I need to do, and then put it back in here like this. So it's pretty easy to work with. So that's another idea. So hopefully you stayed around to the end, because that's your bonus tip for creating a quick and easy sketchbook or journal for mixed media or collage or whatever you want. You could even write on paper and then tape it down in here and make it a journal. So yeah, more on that to come. So thank you very much for staying, and please do like and subscribe. I appreciate your support, and until next time, to life with Brio.